first match that we get to cast. EG versus Navi.
I'm so happy to get this match, EG versus Navi. They played against each other in Star Series, and these are two teams that I really want to follow. Navi have been looking so strong recently, winning Star Series, obviously. And EG, I don't really know what to expect from them. Are they going to succeed? Are they going to fail? You know, it's been hard to predict them really since Manila, I would say. And this is just where we get to see it, the group stage.
EG have been such an enigma of a team.
Yes.
You always just hold such high expectations for them, especially with this roster, because you think like this is a roster that has won many a time. They've worked together plenty. They know how it works, the ins and outs of these teams. PPD knows what to pick for each of their players, but they still seem a bit out of their element or out of their groove. You already mentioned Star Series a bit. When they were there, they were pulling out that ridiculous Oracle mid and AA mid. Already in TI6, we saw in the last series they had up against Wings, where they ended up splitting that series 1-1. They went with the Wisp Huskar, both those games, Waga. And I don't know if we're going to be seeing a lot more of the same or not.
Well, I think Navi abused the Wisp Huskar themselves a lot as well. And that was what they did against EG to knock them down from the upper bracket in Star Series. So I think EG has taken inspiration from Navi, and now they get to play against them again. So it's going to be a really interesting matchup. And yeah, I'm just excited to see EG, of course. They brought out the Storm Spirit earlier. There's been some testing around of different heroes. And this patch is so forgiving in terms of what you can draft. There are a lot of different things that can be picked, but I love what EG have done here. Snag up the early Elder Titan. I think it's one of the heroes that kind of goes under the radar for some teams. But when I see Secret in some games run it, and other teams as well, it just looks so strong.
It's one of the biggest questions I had coming into TI6. For a lot of these teams, we have not gotten to see them play recently. For others, they're fresh off of that Star Series, and they're fresh off of working with this meta. So seeing what the priorities were going to be for these captains as far as first picks, first bans. We saw a lot of Star Series that Drow was the hero. Now we're not even seeing it acknowledged one bit. And yeah, Elder Titan has always been there and is something that is going to be snagged up from any team if it happens to make its way through the ban phase. So.
Exactly. Drow has been pushed down the pecking order to be sort of a 4th or 5th pick in a lot of the games today. We've seen her get played, but it's just not prioritized as high in the pick. And mostly, she actually does get picked up 2nd here, so they are kind of revealing this strategy. And I think they already have nice heroes against the Dry Angel, the Faceless Void to get in close. Interesting to see Navi just go for this.
Well, if any team was to really go for a Drow lineup, Navi's got to be one of the best. I mean, this is kind of fits along with that whole Navi fast-paced, rush, device style Dota we're used to seeing from them.
They love Windrunner mid with it as well. They can pick Windrunner mid, they can pick the Huskar mid. Those two heroes that comes to mind here, especially as they have the Oracle first pick, you kind of have to ban the Huskar.
Oh, yeah,
but the respect, the Dandy Sand King, been used a lot.
That's true too. Oh man. Because you could be in a bit of a jam. I could see EG. You know, they are one of those teams that I don't want to label them quickly to say stubborn, but they welcome, you know, what the opposing team, what their favorites may be. They welcome a challenge. They welcome an opportunity to counterplay it a bit, and they could try instead to creep in something like a Timber Saw like they've shown, and then Navi could bounce back with something like that Sand King. Navi could end up putting EG in the palm of their hand, Waga.
Yeah, EG try and welcome stuff, but I think it's smart in this game that they got rid of the Sand King, because Navi's win rate with Sand King is like 8-1 in the last 9 games that they played it. It's amazing how well they have made this work. And they also get rid of the Batrider, of course, top tier hero at this tournament so far as well. Really being used a lot. Batrider and Beastmaster are kind of the go-to offlaners after Void.
Beastmaster actually still in the pool and is a general favorite, so we'll see if Navi managed to sneak that one up for themselves, but it's something they do look for. I'd imagine Beastmaster could find its way almost into any lineup, but Nature's Prophet comes out for EG now.
I think we're going to see it right away right here, the Beastmaster. When you see Nature's Prophet being picked as well, you're starting to limit the offlane pool. You already have some heroes being banned out as well with the Batrider gone. And it works so well with the Drow Ranger. Just attack speed aura with that damage aura. Everyone is going to have so much DPS coming in.
Outside of that, it's like what? You go for maybe an offlaner who has range to benefit from the Drow Ranger, but I can't really think of much that General goes for.
The only ranged offlaner is really Batrider. That's being used a lot. Yeah. Other than that, and even he doesn't benefit so much from the Drow.
Maybe Mirana, but obviously Mirana had been banned in the first phase. But once you get rid of those options, yeah, it just feels like Beastmaster is the go-to grab.
And I think Navi is actually one of the few teams that do the offlane Mirana. Most teams just run it mid or support, whereas Navi run it really anything. Dandy plays it, they play it on support as well, on Soneko, and they also play it offlane. So maybe a good ban against Navi.
do they have any sort of lane flexibility already committing with the Drow where they could possibly run a dual lane setup, or is Drow just too fickle and you need to make sure you have a lot of protection around her?
You can always try and do a Drow mid. If you have Elder Titan kind of sitting around with a stomp, you can prevent dives coming in. Oh, they go for a Slaughter instead of Beast.
Heavy physical damage and obviously a better perk for going in with that Roche. You are
Sure.
Radiant side.
But they are locking themselves a little bit in lanes here, I feel. And Drow is definitely not a weak safe laner though, but you just gave it away so early that EG can now customize against it. So
And Navi's game plan kind of already out there right now for EG. It's a matter of EG being able to respect that game plan and see if they can kind of strategize around it in a way. Because, I mean, what would you say? We know EG, they're a championship kind of a team. These players are very, very talented, but you know, even with the game plan being out there from Navi, do you think that where they are in this meta, that they could just still be able to bulldoze through EG if they're not just, you know, in tune?
I think Navi could run over EG if EG are not prepared. I believe so. But EG are also, as you said, they're champion material. All of these players. It's the EG secret kind of thing, right? Around Manila, we were talking about, is it going to work? How are the team constellations going to work? And I think EG definitely have it in them, but now is the time to show it. This group stage.
All right, we go back to EG now, and it's, you know, PPD still needs a hero to kind of go his way, and we don't know for certain exactly where this Nature's Prophet will pop up, but potentially Sumail hero is going to be needed. But then again, it's EG, and based on what we saw at Star Series, anything could happen with this team, but not really the stage that you want to maybe pull out those support mids.
I feel it's a little bit strange right now, though, the draft. I definitely feel that Navi have an upper hand, so I like that EG are taking some time on this pick, because the way it looks now to me, their team fight is sort of there. The setup, the very popular combo between Elder Titan and Void, pretty much everyone is valuing that extremely high, as you always will get the crack from the Elder Titan ulti during the Chronosphere. But I just don't like the way their early game looks. A lot of pressure, I guess, on the Nature's Prophet.
I mean, I could see them getting something like an AA that does add to the Wombo combo factor a bit with the Void and maybe the Elder Titan, but they opt to go for a Chen, which is interesting, Waga, because EG are not the biggest Chen team. Like, this is a team that normally just skips it all the way, and you're right, Navi are a team that is very good with Chen. This is interesting. EG giving Navi a taste of medicine, but they pull out something that they know they're good with, and they get Enchantress. I mean, Navi, I think they are the more respected, you know, Ench/Chen jungling early aggressive team.
Never want to be in a battle where I'm Chen and Archstyle is the Enchantress or something like that.
Even with the Drow aura. Oh my god.
It's gonna hurt. This Enchantress is also so fast now. Fastest hero in the game and early game.
Tied with Cottrell, let's not forget that.
True, Cottrell is quick now.
He's tied with Cottrell with fastest hero, but
that old man.
Man, oh man. So this is gonna be interesting to see. Is PPD going to be, I imagine, sticking with will be the Chen in this case? I know they played it a little bit last time.
Yeah, I think definitely PPD is going to be a Chen. And Sai Elder Titan is kind of respected since an era before as well. Like, he's played that so much in the past. I think you have to give it to him. More because of the Elder Titan than because of the Chen.
Obviously, a different pace for EG than what we've already seen from them here at TI, with their past series being both committed to more of a ramped-up tempo Huskar Wisp lineup. This one, they could be a little bit more disciplined, but you can already see based on the lineup for both teams, succeeding in the early game could be very crucial. Probably even more crucial to Navi, especially now. I mean, this seems like it's going to be all on this Drow, and, you know, don't get me wrong, Enchantress always has the potential to become a late-game hard-hitting core. Paired together with the amp damage of Slardar, and already mentioned the Drow aura, they can hit like a truck. But look at this follow-up final pick, Waga, the famous Dendi Puck.
Yeah, Puck with Drow aura again. We keep coming back to this, but the Drow aura makes such a big difference in laning stage, which is extremely crucial. And the more heroes that they have that kind of dominate their lanes, now Enchantress with the roam, Puck with the mid lane, who's already strong. I think a lot of pressure is on the Chen and Furion to make the early game work for EG. I love this, though. TA pick coming in.
Oh, I bet you love this. So what do you think, then? Templar Assassin, matchup against the Puck. This is a pretty popular one-on-one, but based on the Drow aura, based on the potential outside interference of this Chen, of this Enchantress, what would you be thinking, Waga? You're this TA coming into this game.
I don't like the fact that there's so few stuns on EG, actually. Elder Titan is kind of good, I guess, and the Chronosphere from Void is good, but that's not so often you have it off cooldown. And then you have the Chen creeps. Depending on what he has, he could have some good disables. But I love the lineup Na'Vi much more. The Puck and Slardar is very straightforward, pretty low cooldown on the Puck ulti, and it seems their teamfight is going to be really easy to execute. So I think I would be a little bit worried if I was on EG right now.
Can't help but really agree with you on that. I look at both teams' lineups. Na'Vi seem very cut and dry. It really suits up and synergizes with their typical playstyle. We see from Na'Vi every time they like to play. It's something they have been playing a lot recently, and with all those signals, I'd have to say that it's seeming pretty damn likely that we will could see a Na'Vi with a strong game one. But with that said, unfortunately, I don't know, maybe there was a camera bug. I can't click my minimap, Waga, so if you're watching me, it's going to be possibly some rough obs for game number one. It looks like we might have had a little bit of a camera glitch because I can't click on the map, and I think I can click on heroes still. I can.
Yeah, you can teleport by heroes.
So I'll have to do it like that. It's going to be rough, folks. We'll try to make our way through it here, but here we go. It's game number one of our Na'Vi versus EG matchup right here, and Waga, we do have some predictions. Why don't we fire through them real quick? Player with the highest net worth by 25 minutes.
I'm going to throw it on the TA. I'm going for it. Even though a Drow lineup kind of needs to be ahead, Sumail is really good at farming. I think he's gonna go.
Player with the highest net worth by 10 minutes in.
Then I would probably put carry. Maybe the Tiara actually. Yeah.
Sounds
Depends
good.
how much they contest it though, but I'm gonna go for it. What do you think about the duration?
Oh, I would have to say sooner than later. I'm gonna go 30 to 37.
Oh, General, just getting a little bit of punches here, taking quite a bit of damage here.
All right, I'm gonna last.
Oh, they're running around.
We'll go right. That's good. And here they come all the way up and around. Na'Vi looking to intercept here against EG early on. Fear, interesting to note, playing the Void. Now that we kind of can push these predictions aside, we can see that there is a bit of a change up. I guess when you first see a Faceless Void pop up on EG, I guess I kind of get like, oh, that's got to be a Universe Faceless Void. But no, he's going to be playing the Nature's Prophet in this one.
Yeah, the carry Fear Void. I like the carry Void. I actually think it's quite strong against the Drow Ranger as well, because then you have enough items to really go in there and be tanky enough to stay close to her. Just being close to Drow is going to mitigate so much of the damage from Na'Vi. So having this hero is going to help them.
Yeah, it's going to be something a bit different. What do you think about the item build-up then? I know you're a big advocate, of course, of your Precious Radiance build-up, of your Void, but is that something that kind of suits or fits the bill for this one?
I think you can go many different item builds, but Vanguard is not bad, but I love the Echo Saber and Maelstrom. You can also go with the Manta Diffusal. Both of them are really good. I don't think it's good Radiance game at all. Mid, a lot of pressure being put by Dendy onto the TA, and now the wraparound comes as well.
Yep, we were expecting the first strike to come soon from both sides, and oh, what a perfect timing! The Courier is right in the mix. They're gonna get not only the Courier here, Waga, they could also take down Sumail's TA. They're gonna chase her through, back behind the trees. The refraction has already been committed. Now Universe gonna be forced to step in. Can they get the pop-up kill? They can. They are gonna be able to get the return fire kill, but they might also get the follow-up. Is Universe gonna be going down? It looks like that may be the case here. Tries to hide behind the tower. It's not gonna be happening, and off to the races we go. It's already a hot 2-1 start. And meanwhile, Dendy, as he wraps it up and around the corner, runs into PPD. And Zai now, long shockwave will connect. Some hard-hitting damage, but eventually the puck will make it back and away.
Yeah, great start for the puck. That's exactly what you want, and this is why I would not want to get into this battle against Artstyle. He knows these heroes, you know, like his own pocket. Enchantress and Chen, he always makes the right rotations, and I love the fact that at the start of the game, Soneko ran out to block the jungle, so that Chen could not make this rotation mid so quickly. That's why he was first mid.
Very heads-up start from Na'Vi. It's obviously a kind of early playstyle that they're used to even employing themselves, so I'm sure they're kind of aware of what to expect from the other side. Very aggressive Soneko, kind of getting in the face of Zai over here, flustering him quite a bit, pulling Zai away from the lane.
He's got suicide to get back to base as well, Zai.
No, he'll take the express trip back up and over here.
PPD, does it get blocked? He's
stuck in. Nice play from Artstyle. Blocks the path out with the Centaur and shows him who the real jungling micro player is.
Yeah,
Artstyle.
Really. Oh, he's been part of 3 kills in less than 3 minutes already. That is such a quick start.
Dang. A Na'Vi special in its own right.
And meanwhile all this is happening, no one can really put pressure onto the Drow Ranger. I mean, yes, you have the Elder Titan and Furion kind of laning there, but she also has the help of Oracle. She doesn't mind.
Yeah, not at all. the pressure here from EG has not been enough to kind of bring this drought down a peg one bit.
They're trying top, but I don't think they should be able to kill this. We'll see.
See, they make a move in. Fear commits in with the time walk, back out and away here. The creeps are stalking him, they're walking him back and away, but now they'll commit in with the stun from General. A follow-up stun comes out from the Centaur. Universe steps in to try to help out and get some redemption, but they quick work of Fear. General turns it around, and they're gonna get that kill. Art style. This guy is putting in work in the early game.
He's just fire on Enchantress. I don't know. I can't believe actually that teams are in the point where they have to respect Soneko so much that they can't ban out art style. Because his Chen and Enchantress, those are two of their most played heroes, by the way. 2 of their 5 most played heroes in the last 3 months is Chen and Enchantress. When both those heroes are up there, you know that the team kind of pivots around it.
I know, it's one of those things like, yeah, you want to acknowledge and respect all of those prized early hero picks. Now we might see a bit of a skirmish here as they make their move for Suniko. They will be able to take down the pesky Oracle. But yeah, it's like you see all these prized hero grabs in this meta as what teams find the most threatening and the most prized, but then you have to also respect each team's individuality on what they can play, what their specialties are. And for Na'Vi, and you can see it here in Exhibit A, it's Enchantress. You got to give it the respect.
No, most definitely. And it's so great as well to have a player like Artstyle who's so comfortable doing this or playing that Chen. And of course his Enchantress, in fact, very known from the very first of TI. That's where Artstyle was dominating on that.
Uh-oh. Looks like mid lane. Just a teaser of a setup, a bully back, if you will, on Sumail to force him out from away from all that pressure, while bottom lane, EG are looking to apply a bit of their own pressure, trying to get to Ditya Ra, but he knows something is fishy. He is hiding deep in the corner.
They're diving mid as well.
But they're going to make it go, and while this happens, as mentioned, they are going for the mid lane grab, trying to surround Sumail. Looks like they are going to be able to get around him and get her done. Sumail goes down while bottom lane EG still on their own mission. They finally spot out Ditya Ra. The trees are there, but now Dendy's going to be showing up. Dendy looking to move in. He's got a coil if necessary. This could turn bad for EG. They will be able to take down little Ditya, and it looks like a possible follow-up for Dendy. Nah, Dendy's going to be able to step back and away, and EG will just follow up with the +1 if possible.
Yeah, we'll see if they can hold the tower. Mid tower being pressured, but it's also going to be defended by TA.
She makes a return. It looks like it will be all good on that front. And as we head back to the bottom here, Dendy, who still pockets this coil.
He doesn't have much mana to work with, though. The bottle is flying out now on the courier, so maybe they could do something, TP in the draw, but they're going to be zoned out by the Centaur.
Yeah, looks like it's not going to happen here. EG will be able to take down this tower. Not the fastest at being able to push in. You'd think with a Chen it'd be a lot easier, but it takes a little bit of muscle power, and they'll finally get that tier 1 down. But certainly still an advantage for Na'Vi in the early game here. Minus already for art styles.
Yeah, he's the highest net worth on the map, in fact.
My God.
We should have put him down for the 10 minutes. I did not expect that, actually. He normally does so much without any money, really. And that's what we saw. His first 5 kills, he had no items at all. He was just running around with his creeps. Doesn't need items.
And while there seems to be a lot of drawn attention that way, you have people like General just staying planted in the top lane, grinding his own bit of farm. It looks like he's actually not going to rush straight to a Blink Dagger. He gets help right away. So possible armlet grab for him.
Yeah, armlet is very powerful here against the physical damage from EG. Also add some armor that doesn't get removed from the Elder Titan. Having that plus armor really helps. So I like this move. But that also means that they have a little bit longer to wait until he's going to be initiating, but that's fine with a puck in your team.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like they're going to have any sort of atypical mech candidate, but they are going to possibly make a move for General. Top lane will catch the back end of the gank. It looks like they have swarmed in. They will be able to take him down.
Yeah, just keeping in behind with the Fury in there, and the Chronosphere, of course, was committed. But the trade is going to be the mid tower, so I still think this is good for Na'Vi, even if they lost a hero. Now it's just about what they do, because that top tower is still being threatened.
And at least art style will be one to kind of head up into potential scary territory here on his own. While for Suniko and company, they round back and around where they know that EG are going to be pressuring this top tier 1 tower. We'll have to see what they want to do to stop it, if anything at all.
I think they will try and stop it. They're pretty powerful. And they also have TP now.
Yep, Artstyle's coming in. Flank play. It looks like EG are going to try to withdraw if possible here. Fear committing the time walk while General is out in front for Na'Vi. Artstyle, though, with that fast feet, looking to make a move in. Universe tries his best to sprout and block him out, but it's not going to save Fear. It looks like that's going to be the first victim and probably one of your better targets you could ask for if you're Na'Vi.
Definitely, and that's a second death of Fear. This is a carry void, and he's actually 4th from the bottom right now in net worth. So he's struggling a lot. And that's because of these rotations as well. Navi are playing very active Dota, really quick Dota as well.
EG can try to recover here. We see Sumail, who was not involved in the action top lane, not even farming through a stack, just a casual bit of Ancients here, trying to find their grind. And if Navi's lineup is already up and ahead, it's only going to make things even easier for them. So it's pressure on EG to try to break this serious momentum right now. Navi are going to clear this top tier 1, and they're just going to get stronger and stronger at this point. It looks like they're going to stay committed here.
This is exactly what Navi wants to do. Just keep moving and take the tier 2 towers, because Drow does that so early. Very easily.
PPD, not even level 5 yet, so they don't have to worry about Hand of God. They don't have to worry about that extra sustain power coming out from EG.
Yeah, but they are going to respect a little bit here, backing off. And of course, Dandy on his puck can scout quite aggressively. They can't really catch him. There's no silence. There's no easy way to grab the puck. But they can still keep playing in the enemy territory here.
Looks like in the meantime, Ditya will take his business back to the bottom lane here on his Drow. I mean, it's ridiculous, just Drow Ranger things. 124 plus 48, and he barely holds anything to his name as it is right now.
Yeah, the damage, and most of the importance as well, the 38 damage that Puck is getting right now, because he hits so hard. Just very easy to get many right clicks off as well as a Puck, because you reposition yourself easily in team fights. And the smoke around bottom.
Yep, bottom lane, it's Universe. Goes for the TP here. General's right there, and he gets the crush off. You're not going anywhere, Little Nature's Prophet. And now Sumiko's there to help out, tries to burst him down, and it is going to be picked up by the Oracle on that one. Good sneaky play from Navi.
Yeah, very, very worth. Any single kill smoke rotation is still fine. No matter if you catch a support or an offlaner, it doesn't really matter. Just get a kill. In the early game at least, that's true. And seems like Dandy is building into that early veil. He's trying to. Just has a clarity coming out for now, though.
Okay, it looks like he's a little close to PPD right now. Yep. PPD is trying to use his little creep posse here as best as possible to burst through the Fairy Dragon, but it's not going to be doing enough to make anything too critical. Dandy will create the space between himself, and now Navi are shifting gears a bit. I was going to see if they were going to be migrating up towards the northern front, but it's actually in the bottom lane where they could be making their approach for Ditya Ra. Ditya Ra sprouted up, here's going to commit in, waits once with the chrono, feels it's not necessary, and they get the clean kill, taking out the Drow Ranger without too much trouble.
I think he panicked a bit there, but first we're going to see a chase top lane, PPD being chased by General.
Yep, General makes his move, as PPD's all alone here with no tier 1 for friends to TP2. He's just creating a bit of space because it looks like the rest of EG have already made their move inside the pit. They're going to even commit the coil here for PPD, but PPD's like, that's fine.
That's fine. Roshan's going down to EG during this time, so very good trades here for EG. I was about to say, Drow on the bottom there, well, if you're in behind her, she could just have TP'd out. There was no stun available if she TP'd immediately. But this is giving EG a lot of space for recovery, and having an Aegis now in the TA, they can actually take some fights.
Yep.
Also, I think TA is probably going to go for the Blink Dagger extremely early here. Could still go for the Desolator, but in a game like this, you want a close distance on a Drow.
Yeah.
And having the Aegis already, that's just perfect.
You got to make sure you get in and get the job done fast. I mean, with an Oracle on the other team, they always have that get out of jail free card. So you don't want to commit in, blow your load, and then you're like, oh crap, they're alive, and I didn't finish them off, and now I'm far from my team. So it is definitely going to be a touchy thing for Sumail to consider.
Exactly. It's really good for TA to just go on the Oracle first in the team fight and make him panic, so he has to ulti himself.
That's true.
And then it's easy to chase down whoever you want. But Navi looking like they want to fight more, even though there's an Aegis on EG. They're grouping up a lot.
Yeah, items are starting to come together. We have not one, but 2 Dragon Lances now complete for Navi. Artstyle has one on him, and Ditya Ra's Drow also sports another. So they got more range to work with, more damage, and obviously the stats are very, very nice.
Oh, EG scout out a DD rune on bottom. That is very crucial, but Artstyle gonna take it.
Thank you very much.
Right in.
Yeah, snags it up for himself. It looks like Navi are eventually going to be circling back and around to this bottom lane to clear out this tier 1 if possible. But first they're going to possibly move in for Universe. No, they see the immediate TP and change course, do a bit of a 180, step back out. But Navi with that DD, enticed a bit maybe.
Yeah, they want to fight, and they're actually wrapping around on PPD now.
Oh yeah, he's caught between 3. Boom, boom, boom. He goes down. Quick work. EG still committing it hard for the bottom lane as they make their approach for General here.
Oh, he's so slithery.
He went out the right side. They thought he was left. Fear's going to be committing in with the chrono now. And it's not going to be enough without the follow-up damage there. Zai pops out. Now the Earth Splitter right down the middle. It's going to be right on top of the Vincere art style, but they're still committed to standing and fighting. They're going to be able to burst through this Aegis. Universe from the back end side, looking to isolate and take down art style, but doesn't quite have the firepower. Vincere going to get saved up with a false promise coming out from Sonico, and now they make their move. EG still holding strong here. Get a good heal coming out from PPD, and now Na'Vi forced to evacuate. Vincere goes for the TP, is going to be able to make it out.
Oh, the double
2 for
TP out.
1 though.
Yeah, that was 2 for 1, but they got the Aegis on the TA as well. And that first fight was gonna be really hard, no matter how you do it. Na'Vi got a great engagement there. The Chronosphere pretty much wasted, and they controlled EG really well, but then the Aegis comes into play. TA coming back with full HP, you have to just bail.
I do feel like that could have been a lot worse for EG, but it
yeah.
worked out in their benefit to be able to kind of stay close and make it out safely.
Yeah, they did some good plays, and Fear stayed alive as long as he could as well. He did go down in the end, but he definitely did his best there.
Looked like they were thinking about a go onto General, but they'll let him be. General does kind of need to focus on himself a bit, so he'll grind his farm here in the bottom lane. He really hasn't picked up much since we last touched into him getting that helm, so
it's
he
a
wants
setback.
to be able to, get back on par. He'll need to keep farming.
He almost has the entire armlet now. In fact, he's got it in just a few hits, and it just sets you back. When you go for this build instead of Blink Dagger, you need to just focus on yourself for a bit longer, because even when his armlet, he can't really just go and be like, okay, I have armlet, let's go. Because there are so many good reaction heroes on, like Void, you can't just run in and try to stun him. He's gonna chrono you instead. So he needs that Blink Dagger as well.
Yeah, Fear also is one that will need to do quite a bit of catch up here for EG. Sumail is kind of picking up the pieces for the real DPS in the meantime, while Fear just, has his casual Vlads. How do you think the game works out, though, if this does continue to scale a bit? I imagine Na'Vi are not going to be looking to kind of push the pace a bit, but really, when you look at both drafts on paper, they might fare okay in the late game. So where do you think that this game ends up if we end up pushing into like 35-minute plus territory?
I honestly think that EG have a stronger game then, because I value disables quite a lot heading into late game. One mistake can lose you the game, and Chronosphere, Elder Titan ulti, stuff like this, it really just destroys you in the late game.
That's true.
But shouldn't underestimate the Slardar though.
All right, we have a lot of rotations mid lane. They make their move. Art Style is first on the scene, and he eats a lot of damage. It's going to be forced to false promise. There is the Chrono from Fear catching Ditch and Sonico. Then tries the Sonico Oracle first, and they'll be able to take him down. And they get the follow-up for Vincere. Very good for EG so far. Sumail jumps to the back lines. He's looking to take down Art Style. Bam! Hits him hard. Double kill for Zai. Dendy is putting in the work for Na'Vi, but it might not be enough. General forced to stun and retreat, and Na'Vi begin to crumble down one by one. They will get the Dendy puck, and it turns into a 4-for-1 trade, the biggest trade of this game, and it's going for the boys in blue.
That was amazingly aggressive play from EG there, just going in, and I love the positioning they had. And Zai again shows why I said he's one of the players that I really respect in Elder Titan. He played it back in the old days, and it's just beautiful to see.
This allows EG to really ramp it up now as they push in for this tier 2. It totally shifts the gears of this game. Na'Vi, who were kind of supposed to be more the Drow 5-man accelerated lineup, this definitely throws a wrench in the plan a bit.
It does, and this is just gonna hurt you. When you don't get to tier 2 towers as a Drow lineup, your momentum kind of stops. And as you see on the Drow Ranger herself, she doesn't have that much item progression going on. Dying 3 times in a row, it really doesn't look easy for Na'Vi from here on. They need the Blink Dagger, I think, on General, and that's why he hasn't finished up the armlet. Yeah, so he just won Blink Dagger right after the helm, casual helm, and I think that's the right choice now. They need to get the initiation instead of EG just running them down.
Yeah. Dendy is looking to throw together a Yules that could help out quite a bit. Maybe Art Style finishing the makings of a potential Ags could help, but you're right, the utility that EG bring is starting to shine a little bit more now as the levels do begin to come in for their squad.
Yeah, definitely.
The mech and Hand of God, like they look like almost indestructible in some of these fights, and when you think it breaks out and Na'Vi commit in like their big hits, their crushes, their coils, they kind of just shrug it off.
There's still a little bit of a window though, because the mech is still 700 gold off. He doesn't actually have the entire thing. So
no, Universe has the mech.
Oh, the team. Oh, actually
PPD also.
Universe.
PPD might be just going for Crimson. Obviously, we know very good against the Drow. So
yeah,
unless it's a mistake.
No, that's actually fine. I just missed it. I wonder if EG wanna go for tier 2 towers now. They got the tier 2 mid, and that's a pretty big blow. But they could sit back and farm for a bit now, which it seems like they're doing. The Blink Dagger, of course, on Void now to initiate even harder. It's all about closing distance. The way they play, they get really close and personal with Na'Vi, and Na'Vi, they can really only Oracle ulti one guy, and then as soon as that happens, they go on someone else.
Yeah.
You saw that in the last fight. They Oracle ulted Enchantress, and they're like, okay, we're gonna leave her.
Ooh, they wanted to make an advancement for Dendi, but obviously Dendi privy to it. Quickly TP's out from the trouble. But up to the point, you're right, they were taking things a little bit slow. But and now it looks like EG are going to be coming together, and they'll be the team to make an advancement for possibly some more tier 2s, specifically up here in the top lane. So we'll have to see what Na'Vi want to do to defend. Because the problem I'm seeing is if EG get to a point where they're making an advancement on Na'Vi and even pushing into their high ground, I mean, would you say Na'Vi even have very good high ground defense?
Not really. It's a very committing high ground defense. They have to go in with the ulti and follow up and just run in. They can't just sit back and clear the waves that easily.
Yeah.
Because the only real thing they have for that is just the puck illusory orb. Nothing else clears the creep waves. And
Fear is in a fantastic spot, waiting for the pocket chrono here. Now they are going to be able to blow up Sumail quickly. Fear continues to wait. There goes the time splitter. Fear jumps in, gets a chrono. It's only for Ditchara. Actually, he did catch General. It's right on top of him there. We'll be able to help finish him off with the assistance coming out from Universe here. Ditchara, who is also stuck in that chrono, tries to run off to the left. Can't hide in the trees. Fear's going to blink on in and catch him and take him down. Another strong fight for EG as they get a follow-up cleanup. Fear makes it a double as he clears out Suniko. Hardstyle going to be next on the list for the boys, and they'll be able to finish him off. Triple kill for Fear.
Yeah, they blew everything on the TA there, and I think the puck silence is one of the big things that they can't use like that to get a pick up on a TA, because then you have all these other heroes getting their spells off as they want.
Yeah.
And if you don't stop Elder Titan and Void, that's just gonna be very troublesome for your team.
Here comes EG, man. Now they're moving in for a tier 3.
No intention of stopping either.
And it really feels like EG know that this is their moment here. They'll take tier 3, and it looks like they'll play it safe from that point on. They back out right away, and we'll go back into the grind. Huge winnings for them, though.
And they almost have an entire Orchid on this Nature's Prophet. The sad part about that for Na'Vi is that the silence is going to be so good. When he goes behind lines and gets Oracle, or even on a puck, he has to self-use himself, and after that, he can't be as aggressive anymore. It's just going to be a great item, and again, Roshan up.
Yeah,
very Vladimir's Deso.
Short timer. EG, though, look at this. Acknowledge that Na'Vi are going to be beelining it that way. They have the ward. They had the ward back in the mid lane, so they probably saw the transition coming in from Na'Vi. And it looks like they'll just kind of play it a bit patiently. Na'Vi move right in, place the ward on the high ground. EG, though, in a good spot, kind of staying out from that vision here, but they do spot Zai. So they begin to make a move that way, and Zai quickly gets out.
The sad thing here for Na'Vi is that they can't really just go for it.
No,
Elder Titan is way too good at zoning you from Roche. Look at this. As soon as the Spirit comes in, it's like, oh, you want to keep going?
Okay, EG would love to take a fight at a choke point like this. With that, with the Chrono, with the side blades, Fear makes his move. He catches a 3-man Chrono setup coming out. Na'Vi got to respond. There's a huge splitter follow. They get the silence from Fear, and it looks like they will be able to burst down the Faceless Void. And now the follow-up from Sumail is able to crush on 4. They take down 2. They take down 3. Sumail with the triple kill, and EG move right back into the pit to take what's rightfully theirs.
This is just Sumail or Fear. Pick one, you kill that guy, and then you die to the other guy. That's what happens for Na'Vi right now.
This time they chose Fear, but the problem is Sumail hits a lot harder.
Man, Na'Vi going for that it's such... Oh, Dendi?
He's in trouble.
I don't think he can catch him.
That's the puck factor now with Yules, with Blink. It ain't going to be easy.
He's gonna get out.
Oh,
just barely.
That was close.
It's just very indicative of how far behind Na'Vi feel when they go for that Roshan. Because as I said, they can't go for Roshan against Elder Titan. That Spirit is gonna destroy you. And that's exactly what happened. The Spirit stomped 2 of them, and then Fear just blinks in, time walks in, Chronos 2. And the fight was over from there, really.
I guess they feel like that's one of their outs in hopes of kind of moving that Roche pitch, catch EG, weak from doing the Roche from the previous fight.
Yeah.
Hope you could take a big fight there, take the Roche, and take the game back.
Exactly.
High risk, high reward, but this time there was no reward at all. EG were onto it. They had a good ward in the mid lane. They adjusted their positioning, and they were ready for a counter fight. Now Na'Vi, they got a high ground defend, Waga, or they will lose game number 1.
Yeah, this is where the Dragonlance comes into a good play as well for the TA. Can sit back a little bit farther and to poke the high ground.
Casual side blade action here. Na'Vi have to be very mindful of their own positioning here.
I think EG want to take it a little bit slow though. You look at that cooldown on the Chronosphere, just 10 more seconds, and then they can go. It's really about the combo between Elder Titan and Void, and they work so well together. Zai and Fear. And even the Solar Crest on Zai, on his Elder Titan. It's a very big item this game.
Sumail makes his move in, bashes down General a few times, takes a shot, backs out. Got Hurricane Pike to work with now, and still has an Aegis. Denny makes his move in. He's going to be forced to Yules. He gets Yules up, sidesteps Spear, jumps in, gets Vincere on Archdale, looks hot under the Chrono, while Denny moves to the side, gets nuked down by PPD, and now EG going to be looking to go for the closing blow here. Navi forced to retreat back behind their racks. That Hurricane Pike damage coming up from Sumail way back and beyond, and then the jump in with the final blow, punches them right in the mouth. And will take Navi out. They're going to be forced to double buyback. Denny moves back in, gets off a big coil between two, but Navi split back, moves in. General tries to come in hard to the back lines, but he gets crushed down himself. Fear makes a commitment back in. Denny gonna self-heals, goes off to the side. Get your raw, annihilated and out. Triple kill for Sumail. No more buybacks here for Navi. They lose this one. This game is done, and it looks like that's going to be the case. They begin folding in within themselves, and that is going to be game. It takes about 24 minutes. And EG will claim game number 1 of this 2-game series.
That was a very effective stop to Drought Strat. They just really pulled it back as well after a hard early game to manage to turn around. When Archdale got that momentum on his enchantments, I thought Navi would be in a good spot, but not a single tier 2 tower was really taken.
Well, EG, get off on the right foot here. A good start for game number 1. And I mean, we both felt after the draft that this was going to be pretty heavily favored Navi. I mean, they got a lot of signature picks for themselves. The art style in